Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Aliens, the second Alien film in the Alien franchise, excuse me. Now, after the first instalment, which was good but not amazing, we pick up 57 years later with Ripley being recovered from space and eventually coming out of sleep along with Jonesy the cat, who stays behind for most of the adventure. So we see him throughout the start of the story, but then he stays behind when we move on to the actual plot. Shortly after arriving at the hospital, Ripley then is in a hearing with the Weyland-Yutani Company bosses about the incident. Then she discovers that there's a colony on LV-426, and then they lose contact with the colonists. We actually get to see some extra scenes in the extended special edition version of the story where we actually see a little bit of the colonists on the planet with Newt and her family discovering the eggs at the crashed spaceship. Nice little nod back. And I saw this film last year along with the first one. I actually saw the extended edition, special edition version instead of the theatrical cut, then, as opposed to the theatrical cut of Alien. And yeah, so it's got some nice extra scenes with here that I think play really well into the story, as with the character development, with the bit of Ripley finding out about her daughter. Of course, I saw the theatrical cut with my first viewing of the film on the Blu-ray, and then later rewatching it with the special edition version, and that was bloody awesome. Both times around, all three times around, they were bloody awesome. So back to the plot. Okay, so the colonists have now lost contact with headquarters, basically, as presumably are following the scene with Newt's dad getting a face hug on his face in the special edition. It then leads to the presumably getting him back to base, and then maybe some other people have gone out to find facehuggers and given birth to aliens, basically, and the rest are killed. Presumably, we don't actually see any of that on screen. It's nice to have off-screen appearances, off-screen stuff that could be filled in with our imagination, or to even make the situation when the Marines get there even scarier. Speaking of which, Ripley joins the Marines, and they join the Marines gang, and they go off to find out what's happened, and they eventually discover, aliens basically attacked the base. They find the only survivor, Newt, and then eventually find the aliens' base. Hideout, really. And soon, an all-out battle ensues between the Marines and the aliens, and soon the remaining survivors have to retreat back to the base in order to stand a chance of escaping, and eventually they have to find a way to escape the planet and basically blow all the aliens up with a nuclear bomb. It is also in this final act that we are introduced to the Alien Queen. Ooh, and there's a fantastic final fight at the end of the film. Such a great ending. The ending does feel slightly dragged a little bit for this final fight, but it's still a really executed fight. Okay, so pretty much nearly everything in this film is really positive. It does have a slightly slow-paced start. However, stuff gets done in more stuff gets done in this first act than in the first act of the first film. I think more stuff is going on as opposed to in the first film, where it just felt like they were taking their time, which was okay, sort of. This time it works a bit better to the advantage, especially with the special edition version, where they just have some more character moments, like Ripley finding out about her daughter and seeing Newt and her family on the planet. It just feels nice, and the character moments with the Marines, they're pretty cool as well, and got some great moments and nice bits. It's actually really interesting getting to know these characters throughout the film, especially on the last viewing. They were definitely more likeable and more intriguing. It's also worth noting there isn't a huge amount of characters here. I mean, the last film had a small number, which was great. I thought that really worked well. I think the next film, and maybe the one after, but I'll see about that, maybe not so much, had quite a few characters, and not everyone had their time to shine. Here, I think the majority of the Marines get their time to shine, and it's actually sad seeing quite a few of them get axed off. Some of them not so much, but quite a few, especially the ones who do survive the first attack. Yeah, pretty much. And it becomes basically a battle for survival once again, except this time instead of skulking around corridors, this time they're trying to they're trying to blockade themselves in before they can have a harrowing escape. And it's really well executed, and I love the character bonding between Ripley and Newt, and also Ripley and Hicks, who coincidentally is played by Michael Biehn from The Terminator. So he and director James Cameron obviously had a good relationship with each other. Not romantic, friendship. I also like how they use Bishop in this film. Bishop is an android, but he's not a villain this time round like Ash was last time, or David in Covenant, and to an extent Prometheus. But Bishop is still a very good character, and he does some great moments. And there was one Marine in particular, other than Hicks. No, there's two. There's the black female one. I think there's two of them, but the one who wears the red headband and shouts "Let's rock" in the first battle scene. She's amazing character. She's another great female character, strong female character in this franchise. I think besides the first film, other than Ripley, of course, I think all of them have some great female characters. And I think there's two other female characters in this film, Marines, I should say. Two other female Marines, and they get some good stuff, but the one with the red headband who screams "Let's rock" is one of the best of the Marines, I should say. And the other one I wanted to mention is Bill Paxton's one. He's actually quite a lovable guy, almost, in a way, and he gets a lot of great moments. It's actually sad to see him get killed, and not even see him killed. He's just dragged underneath. We just presume he's dead now. But in the end, everything works out well, and we come to that amazing final scene. I suppose maybe this film picks up a bit more pace because of the action moments, but even before the action starts, there is quite a bit of character development that wasn't seen as much in the first one, despite the slower pace in the first act to the other two. It's the character developing that helps, and also in the other two acts, there's quite a bit of character development, especially in the third act, where we're down to the last few survivors. Thankfully, there's more survivors in this film than there was in the last one, or the next one. And it's just amazing. And I love the use of the practical and visual effects in both these first two films, but I think this one shows it off really well. And also an improvement with James Cameron for the Terminator, and how he used practical and visual effects for both of those. Especially with the practicals on characters in a way. Maybe it's because of the higher budget, and also maybe it's because they had similar technology and effects on the first film, but definitely in Cameron's part, definitely is improvement for that aspect, and it just looks absolutely amazing. So overall, it is a fantastic movie and really brilliant. So I'm going to give Aliens a 10 out of 10. This is my favourite of the Alien films, and also, if I was doing the big Alien and Predator and AVP film ranking total, this would probably still be number one like it was on the last version. And also, as for the special edition version, I think it makes the film even better. I think the special edition version is better than the theatrical cut, which is probably a good thing. And I think it's a slight improvement. However, this film, even the theatrical cut, was still one of the best. It probably still makes it the best film in the series. I think the special edition just makes it even better. It might even have been that caused the score to go to 10. But I think the theatrical cut, maybe if I gave it another watch, probably would have been a 10. I think so. But anyway, so that's Aliens. Next time, I will actually be taking a short break from the Alien films, and we'll be taking a look at the classic 1948 film, The Red Shoes, and then we'll be on to Alien 3. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne Retro YouTube channel. Ripley is then informed. Excuse me. It does go on quite a bit. And there's some great moments. One thing that... No, I'm not...